And we've got the dramatic music as well to add a little bit of tension into this leg. And it's a shot you can actually twitch and be miles away from the rail, but this is not a bad effort from both players. But it's going to go.
Sanchez Ruiz wins the leg.
To the world number one. He'll be breaking in this quarter-final match, and what a match this promises to be.
First rack, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz to break.
It's a successful break at that. He's got an open look at this 2-ball. 3-ball doesn't pass the 9. The 9 is, it's not really over the pocket for a combo, so I don't know if he can go forward for the 3 in the side.
Yeah, he's a little thin to get by the 8 easily. He's going to have to add a little side spin, I believe, which will make pocketing the 2 a bit more difficult. Doesn't appear maybe the red 3 doesn't pass the 7, the brown 7 in the lower left as well. So he's got to play a nice one here with a little speed control. And for your first shot with a little inside spin, a little tricky. Easy to overhit this.
I think he'll take that. Definitely got to look at this ball into the side. It's a little thinner than one would have liked, but he didn't have much room for error. That gives you a better view of what Ruiz is faced with.
And I like the decision on the 2, really staying away from the side spin and using more speed control coming into that position on the red 3 in the middle. All these shots right here, though, this requires a little bit of speed, so again, got to hit the mark with the pink to the pocket. Very similar players in the regard that they don't really take more time when down on the ball from one shot to the next. They want to get down and go through the same process and pull the trigger. That's why you'll see both of them at times get up off the ball. They feel like that process has any chink in the armor, right? They want to start over. Now, one thing I saw yesterday in that match with Aranis is FSR really got down to where the beeps were and the clock was really at, oh, is this going to go a little far maybe? Watch out. Watch out. Whew. But he got down to really the 1 second on the shot clock before pulling the trigger, and both times that happened, he actually hit the ball really nice, but
Extension call.
Still something you want to stay away from.
Yeah, I've been a little bit worried there, thinking the cue ball would end up touching the 9 and have no shot on this brown 7, but luckily it's held up.
Now on your club table, you may go around 3 rails, kind of elevating the cue a hair rather than playing it with a level cue. Here, I think it's just something a bit more subtle.
Well, the second quarter-final of the day, we start with a break and run. Can he put a serious package together here, JJ? This is something that we often talk about in the world of pool. Obviously, there's always conversations about alternate break, winner breaks, but I'd love to see in the future, you know, someone really, you know, put a serious number together, and then it's a bit more of a talking point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you kind of put a package together for some 15, 18 months, it seemed like, from tournament to tournament. Got so many shots after the break, it seemed like it would never end. And that's all what it's about. I mean, if they get the looks, it's got to be consecutive looks to put some 5 or 6 together. But the main thing is you want to get control.
Yeah, and the opening shot on the blue, too, that he was faced with, he played a very crafty positional shot to get on that 3 in the side. You can just see on the player's shirt there where it says WNT Pro. That actually stands for, basically, he's a World Nineball Tour professional. 128 players from around the world are representing Nineball. It's a breakaway professional tour. So if you've got one of them on your shirt, you should be proud.
Rack 2, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz to break, leading by 1 rack to 0.
Pay attention to the yellow 1 ball, trying to go in that opposite side pocket. Cue ball.
Foul shots.
Yeah, and a rare scratch on the break without a kiss on the cue ball.
Please start the clock.
Actually went twice, so it wasn't poorly hit. It's just something you have to gamble with the cut break from the box.
Six ball is the ball in this rack where he's got a little bit of work to do if it doesn't pass the 9, and you can get an angle on the purple 5 and slide past the 6 for the same pocket.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's still crucial to get somewhat good on that green 6, again playing to a short pocket with the brown 7 up the table. I don't know if there's something you noticed. Definitely did in the last match. I actually noticed it in our first match of the Whirlpool Masters. Filler is starting to break the balls with a little more power. Seems like he's been working on it. Yeah, you would wonder why he went forward there to play the pink in the lower left, and that's all about getting on that green 6 in a couple shots. Wants to carry over and get an angle on the purple 5. So going for the side was a little risky on the pink 4. And did he get that angle? I don't think he did, so it's going to be a 6-9 combination most likely, which isn't terrible because he's in a good position to draw back and get pretty handy there.
Tell you what, Jeremy, this would have been the last thing on my mind, you know, playing for this. I'm not saying he was playing for the combo, but I'd rather be anywhere on the table on the 5 ball than there.
Yeah, I think he would too. I think he shoots the combos maybe a little better than you did. You didn't like them though. The game's so mental. If you don't like it, boy, you're up against it. Yeah,
this one would scare me to death. It really would.
Should shoot it in with a little pace.
Well, it didn't scare Coping.
Coping wins the rack.
The 9 ball went in the centre of the pocket, and it's 1-1. Obviously, that was helped with the scratch off that man there. Cue ball just got a little bit too much in it. Now, Coping Yi said this yesterday. That pull cue on the right there with all the fancy points in it and the gold, that's actually real gold. That cue, Jeremy, is $30,000 if you want that cue.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you know the cues are pretty much like artwork really, and the craftsmanship that the cue makers have these days. It used to be back in the day there were like 10 good cue makers. Now there's, I don't know, 400 or 500 I guess, but some are still the cream of the crop, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, if you're wondering why it's so expensive, it's because at the bottom of the cue it's got all these inlays in and gold fancy pieces dropped in it. It's an incredible work of art. It's a one of a kind, so don't get any silly ideas out there. Look at that. Just look at that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of scrimshaw work and
rack 3,
all the detail.
Break. The match is tied, 1 rack each.
So if you want to play as good as Coping Yi, you better get saving.
Perfect hit on the cue ball there, and the 1 as well. Gonna open up, I think anyways. Red 3 came to a quick halt. Not sure he has the cut shot. He definitely has something on the blue 2.
The bank shot offers difficult position for the Red 3, but I think he's lining it up.
Yeah, maybe the Red 3 squeezes by the green 6 though. And this is where I don't try to play the two-way, I don't think. I think I really commit to the bank. I think with a little more stroke on the ball, you open up the pocket just a hair. Could roll across for the 3 in the opposite corner.
There's a wonderful bank shot, and as you called it, JJ, this ball must sneak past the green 6.
Little awkward cueing. Doesn't want to do a whole lot with the cue ball, just really focus on the Red 3.
Well, he had a lot of the pocket, didn't he? If he plays for the 5 in the same pocket, this is a shot he really excels at, killing the cue ball. He can also play for the purple in left centre, which is probably the favourite. Yeah, just like that. That's good. Comes across the face of the 5.
Yeah, very on point so far. Nice clearance after the scratch on the break in game 2. Pretty much a perfect hit on the break here in game 3. Just pure class so far. Now here, you have to commit one way or the other. He doesn't want to draw back and get somewhat straight or a little short of the 8 in that side to where it's really hard to get on the 9.
Extension called.
You want to commit to the angle to move the ball. Maybe to the top rail and back down.
Well, he was looking at playing the 8 in the right centre then, because he could go 2 rails and guarantee that path onto the bottom rail. So we'll see what he's electing to play.
Yeah, I think this is the smarter play. Just less cue ball travel and just guaranteed, again, that heavy angle to move the ball easily. Shouldn't maybe catch nothing but the top rail and maybe the bottom rail. Wouldn't really entertain the side cushions at all.
That'll get the job done. Well, Koping, the defending champion, is showing some good signs here. He doesn't want to give this trophy up just yet. It's 2-1.
Rack 4, Koping to break, leading by 2 racks to 1.
Welcome back to the action. This is the second quarter-final rather of the day. Unfortunately, Koping Chung lost, so it's on Big Brother now as he's breaking in rack 4. got the aim right, and he's going to have a shot on the blue too. He's actually made a couple of balls as well.
Yeah, that one ball really screaming in the side pocket. That's when you know they're really ginning the break shot. Really came away with a shot on every ball on the table except the brown 7.
Always a little touchy-feely, them type of shots. Because you know you're just floating the cue ball onto the object ball and just coming up into that little area. Ideally wants an angle, which he has. Bumped it in off 2 rails. Had to get the cue ball off the bottom rail because he wanted an angle to get up close to the 8 ball. He's a surgeon on the pool table. He plays the cue ball as good as anybody. And that's why he's one of the best players in the world, and he's the defending champion. He's 3-1 up. Ruiz in a little bit of trouble earlier on here. And what a win it was last year. Let's take a look. JJ, what a performance this was against Eklund Katja. What a scoreline.
Yeah, something we didn't expect, as well as both were playing, taking advantage of every opportunity, but he really separated himself the latter third or maybe half of that match.
As always on the World Nineball Tour, Bill Strickland started this trend many years ago. Jump on the table. At first, I thought that was a bit of a silly gimmick, but he's sort of grown on me a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I tell you, the expressions from the winners, and just got to love it. You don't get to do it very often, so it's something special. It's hard to win out here on the WNT.
Yeah, Shane Van Bonen, back-to-back titles, 14 and 15. This man's trying to do the same. Can he go back-to-back? Well, he's looking good here.
Rack 5, Coping Yeats break, leading by 3 racks to 1.
Another successful 1 ball on the break, but I think he's going to be hooked. Maybe not. Well, I'm sat right behind it. You can definitely see a piece of the 2. I don't know if he can get to the pot.
No, I don't think he can make it. Maybe a jump shot. Doesn't look too upset about it. Not really contemplating much of a safety. Maybe it's a jump with the full cue, just a sliver of the green 6 to go over.
Yeah, explain why a player might do that instead of the jump cue, Jeremy.
Well, there's a little more control. You can do a little more with the cue ball, maybe draw the ball if he needs to get back on the red 3. And I think he's just clear at it, actually. So he's going forward. No jump here.
Well, that was very handy indeed. Still had to play the shot nice and just look where the cue ball has fell.
And again, I mean, it's a hard thing to do, but it's something I really like on Ko-Ping-Yi. I think his brother tries to do the same, maybe not all the time, but really very similar when he gets down on the ball and wants to go 1, 2, kind of longer, few little smaller pre-strokes, and then let the swing go.
Yeah, even on the break, he sort of steps back, doesn't he? And, you know, he's sort of rubbing the cue with his hand and he's visualizing where he wants to hit. He does this a lot. One of the few top pros in the modern era that's stuck with the wooden shaft.
Yeah. I tell you, I was a guy that used a lot of powder. You know, when your nerves get going, the adrenaline, but both these brothers cool as a cucumber. Seems no problems. A wooden shaft, no glove.
Yeah, I was just going to say no glove. Probably 90% of pool players wear a glove.
Well, the other thing is, you know, they break with a carbon fiber, though, both the players. And so that's even more difficult to me as far as no glove. Of course, I have hands that get a little more clammy, I guess, than the Ko brothers, but still, it's a very rare thing you see in today's game. Playing to come behind the 8. Maybe the 8-9 combo.
Yeah, the combo is on, but I think he likes the idea of falling behind it.
Yeah, he's got the option for the 8 in the side or the lower left corner. I'm not sure. If I had a hair more angle, I'd definitely like the side. Otherwise, I may come up for the corner, play the black 8 in the same corner as the 7. We hit a little thick. It's going to work out, though.
Yeah, 7 ball caught knuckle and fell in. Well, Ko-Ping-Yi is on a 3-pack. Ruiz has got the best seat in the house so far.
Yeah, no safety played in this match yet. It's a break and run from FSR to open. That scratch on the break you talked about.
Well, no likey. No likey. Ko-Ping-Chung has turned red. That means he is out. If your poster's in white, you're still in.
I'll tell you something that we haven't seen yet. We've seen some separation, you know, with some break and runs later in the match, middle of the match, but not so much at the beginning, and that's what we're seeing here from Ko-Ping-Yi.
This is at the top of the arena. This is on the balcony. He's seen himself on TV. He's loving life now. There's Ruiz. He's in white. Ghost is in white. It's actually a really good view from up on the top deck. SVB. He's still in white. He'll be playing Jason Shaw later on this evening. What a match that's going to be.
Leading by 4-1.
This is the pre-break routine he does. Look. Visualizing where he wants to hit.
Yeah, like his counterpart in this match. Looks like he cues it with a hair of inside, kind of knowing he's going to come across and hit a little more center.
Well, I think we're about to see Ruiz back at the table.
Man, just a few kisses really caused a lot of issues here. And what is rack number 6? The pink 4 and the 5 tied up. The 3-9 tied up. Could be a kiss shot on the 9 though if somebody happens to get a play on the blue 2. I think hard to kill the cue ball all the way up on the purple 5, but you got to just play for the snooker, knowing you may leave a jump. Now this happened to him a couple times in his opening match where he missed getting the snooker, or at least the full snooker, from some pretty kind of simple positions.
This is what it's like being a pool player sometimes. It doesn't always go this way, as we've seen this week.
Extension called.
But Ruiz has been sat in his chair watching. Now he's back at the table and he's not faced with a kind shot. He's going back for the short cue. So he's going to try and pop this ball and pocket it. And he'll go close to this. He'll get the 2 ball towards that pocket. Obviously it's very difficult to pop the ball, but he'll get it in the right direction. Not really guaranteed 100% where the cue ball's going to go though. It'll fly around. Oh, he's nailed it! Straight in the heart of the pocket. Needs a friendly bump, and he's got it. What a shot! And he's got an angle as well.
Yeah, both players coming with big blows here early in this quarterfinal match. That's kind of, where the game's going, right? You can see how Copini's going to play and how he's breaking the ball, so you're going to have to bury some big ones. Oh, nice break out there on the pink and the purple. End up with a nice angle to come out for the 5 as well.
Oh, he's put a quick one in. He has put a quick one in, Jeremy. I think he sensed something big there. I think he was pleased to get in this position. Wow.
Yeah, pulled the trigger a little quicker than he normally does. He's got a bit too much cut, and you can see, of course, that was supposed to be missed, but the pocket's definitely not quite as generous as they were in day 1. This is going to leak a little bit, I think. Oh no, it got right on the black 8. Froze to it, it seems. Made the kick shot super difficult now.
Looks like the purple 5 is tied up on the brown 7, but coming this direction with a kick shot, there's a chance of him breaking them 2 balls out. And he has done. He's opened it up. He'll be distraught as he walks back to his chair. What a moment that could have been.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Nineball pool at the highest level is so treacherous as far as, you think about comparisons to other cue sports, and one mistake may sit you in your chair for a long time. Snooker, of course, you make a mistake and a guy might make an incredible clearance, but you're getting back to the table in the next rack, and that's why you may see an occasional missed ball and big pressure moments that you don't expect.
Yeah, that's what's so unique about Nineball pool. You never quite know what's going to happen, and things can happen in pool matches, and it can just change very quick and the pressure just builds up. It's a very unique game to play. I know, Jeremy, you play a lot of other sports and it's very nerve-wracking, isn't it, playing pool?
Yeah, I talked about it in the last match. You know, American football, we call it a game of inches. What is pool? Millimeters, but it's so mental as well.
Well, who'd have thought it? Who would have thought it? Ruiz with a missed chance there. And it's now Coping 5, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz 1.
Miss pink right there in game number 6.
Yeah, miss pots, Coping
Rack 7,
no.
Coping to break.
Only one for
Leading by
Ruiz.
5 racks to 1.
And it was the big miss on the pink 4.
Blue 2 and the cue ball near each other, so that's always a good sign for the breaker. And I'll tell you, he's already had 3 clearances from the break. Great position now to make it a 4th, get a little more separation.
Yeah, whenever you miss a ball like Ruiz did, it's not just a case of it might cost you that 1 rack. It could cost you 2, 3, 4. And when you're 4-1 down, and he could have got it to 4-2, he would have been breaking. You know, golden break and a break and run, you're back in the match. These are the small margins that happen on a pool table.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's broke the balls well. Did have that scratch, but it was a little unfortunate, kind of zigzagging twice into that middle in game number 2. But I'll tell you, Coping has really pounced on just a few little errors. Needs an angle off this blue 2. Oh, hit this little thick, did slide. Get a nice 2-rail angle to come between the. Oh, I thought he would pull this tight between the 5 and 6, the purple 5 and green 6. He looked to maybe go long between the 8 and 9. Gotta believe he's going to recognize this. Got to go between the 5, 6 here off 2 cushions, kind of wrapping out of that top right corner. He's hitting somewhat high on the cue ball. This is surprising. Not saying it's not there. I just didn't know if it was the better route.
Well, I definitely liked your route, JJ, there.
Well, I think if you talk about long-term making the red 3, I know he missed it, which we didn't anticipate. I think you make the ball more often as well, cueing a little more low English, pulling the ball.
Yeah, I can only think maybe the slide off the second rail put him off, but it looked to be set pretty
Extension
nicely.
called.
Yeah, especially a shot that he likes quite a bit. So sometimes you make a big mistake like the pink 4. You know, you got to earn it to get back on the board, and that's what's going to happen here after a miss and a snooker on the red 3 from Coping. Very shocking. I think he just overlooked that path of the cue ball there for Coping. Couldn't imagine him playing it the other way. Look at this kicking behind the 6. This is difficult. Should get the hit, but where's the safety? Yeah, at that speed as well. That's why I love kicking at the ball versus jumping it a lot of times, but there I may have gone for the jump shot. Nice there to get that angle, putting a little more speed, knowing he's going to get that second rail. Needs, 5-6 inches, and he got it. I don't know, may play from underneath here on the purple 5. At least consider it. Played that beautifully. A little stun follow.
Very rare you see players cannon into the ball, meaning cue ball into the green 6. It's very rare. Well, over 3/4 of the time, table time that is, Copigny is a little bit greedy in this match. 5-1, looking like 6-1, breaking very well, very strong.
And does the righty follow to the bottom cushion here with some high left spin? Got some options, that's for sure. I think I like the high ball. Sets up for the right-hander pretty well on the brown 7.
Really going to look at the spin, the English that he had to put on the cue ball.
Yeah, he can cheat this and really pull the cue ball back. He can play for the 8 in the top middle there as our screen. On the overhead there for a moment.
Extension called.
You can see how straight he's landed. He didn't play for the 8 in the left centre, but maybe that's a little nervy one, just trying to pull it back in once. That's why he's forced it. Why not?
Yeah, FSR does break the balls well enough, I think, to make any kind of comeback, really. And, of course, after the break is as good as it gets. But I gotta believe that one mistake from Copigny with the 3 ball in this rack. A little fortunate, but just don't see many more mistakes. Once he gets going, it's going to be pretty pure the entire way.
Copigny, please.
Well, the missed 4 ball has cost him a couple of racks. I mean, he did get back to the table in that one. After the missed 3 from Copigny, got away with one a little bit. Then you see the referee, Julian Roper, making his debut on the TV table, Jeremy. Nice kid.
Yeah, really good guy. Always very positive with all the players and all the people, and a darn fine referee as well.
Yeah, he was super nervous the day before playing. I was giving him a little bit of stick, saying just make sure you don't drop the cue ball or do anything silly. You'll be fine, pal. But he's handled the job really well.
Yeah, and he's a big fan of the game as well. So, he loves all these players, and I think he's here to stay as far as one of the main referees. Of course, we have some great ones in the game, some of them in some snooker right now, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, he may as well just have sealed himself an invitation back to the World Nineball Tour. It's now a race to 10, the quarterfinals. First round race to 9, then we go to 10. Then the semi-finals is a race to 11. And then the final tomorrow evening, race to 13. Who is going to get there?
Rack 8, Copigny to break, leading by 6 racks to 1.
I'll tell you what, have you seen, of course, SVB maybe, or Kachi maybe gets the one on the side a little quicker, but I don't think I've seen anyone this week so far really have this kind of connection on the rack time and time again.
Got to get the cue ball coming back over into the direction of where it is now, just below the left centre pocket. So he's playing this with low left English.
Yeah, we could see a nice one here. May pull the cue ball 2 cushions between the brown 7 and 8. Kind of the shot we were talking about earlier that he decided another route. I hate the high ball with inside off of this kind of half heavy hit myself anyways. Could come one rail kind of at the 6, but that one's touchy as well. I really like him pulling this. Kind of got to smooth it when you pull the ball. That way you get the draw. Really a shot he usually excels at.
Yeah, earlier on, a couple of racks ago, that's the shot Jeremy was talking about when he missed the red 3 ball. It was a similar strike, a similar cue ball path that it would have took. This time he's elected to go that way.
Yeah, you'll watch so many players when they play the 9, you know, they could shoot it many ways, but elect to pull the cue ball that way. It's always just a friendly way to hit the ball. Boy, he's feeling it. No fear from Copigny at the moment.
That previous shot, it's very easy to put a little bit of spin, unwanted spin on the cue ball, and you miss the ball. So you had to hit that one pure.
Well, the main way you miss at the cue ball is by letting up. You know, when you let up, the arm breaks down a little bit. Well, there, like what I was saying, he's feeling good. No let up there after elevating the cue. And tell you what, of course, he's not through this match. He's still got to keep it going against FSR, but starting to see some of that form we saw from last year.
It's a delight to watch. It really is. I'm sure it's not a delight to watch for Ruiz, because this is going to be a tall order now as he trails Copigny 7 racks to 1. The Co brothers hold 2 of the big majors on the World Nineball Tour. It's Ruiz who holds the other one. He's the World Nineball champion. Copigny, of course, defending champion at the Masters. Coping-chung, US Open champion. So Copigny is trying to keep 2 of the majors. And the Co family, now you can see Premier League pool. SVB won that in Connecticut. Jason Shaw's pool room 3 weeks ago. UK Open champion. That's in a couple of weeks' time. Eklund Catcher will defend his title. Great to see him back after that injury that he sustained. World Pool champion Ruiz. That goes to Saudi Arabia. $250,000 to the winner. Pool is becoming big-time business. European Open, David Alcady, best friends with Ruiz. And at the Spanish Open, we see China's Dang Jinhu. Phenomenal performance there. As I just told you, Coping-chung, US Open champion. And what a win that was for Jason Shaw at the Hanoi Open in front of 3,000 crazy pool fans. He'll be in action tonight against SVB.
Yeah, in that match, he started off so slow. I think it was that crazy combination
Rack 9, Coping needs to
After
break, leading by 7 racks to 1.
Jason Shaw missed the kiss shot. Albin went 2 rails and scratched. That's what got Jason Shaw going in that match. And from there, he turned it around and then went on to play an incredible Mosconi Cup as well. Not the sound that we've been seeing, but I tell you, maybe still somewhat of the same result. Is this cuttable, cuttable, Carl?
Well, I've been called every name under the sun this week. Mark it is now. Yeah, it looks very thin from here, Jeremy.
Yeah, it looks like the type of shot you may be able to fan in, though, kind of disregarding the cue ball. We'll see. Yeah, it's definitely cuttable. Overhead tells me it is. Now, again, the cue ball is going to be turned loose, but don't think he's going to back down. Does he catch a piece of the 3 here? I think he does.
Yeah, if he does, Jeremy, is it a case of just take the gamble? Is that what you've got to do?
Yeah, of course you'd like to hit it as light as you could, but you don't want to miss the cut. You don't want to get some kind of little kick here on a thin one. He missed it, and he spun the nice ball nicely to avoid the green 6.
Can't really get up near the 4 here. He's probably going to send the cue ball off 2 rails, maybe come off the 3rd rail before. Yeah, just where he's putting his shaft there. So
Extension called.
Man, this is a shot again he excels at. This is a difficult shot. Now, is he going to try and hit before this left middle and come across past the right middle? I thought he was going to just kind of play it a little more back and forth. I tell you what, he's hitting the ball so well. I wouldn't take a chance if there's any kind of possible scratch here trying to come past the side.
yeah, usually he's a very smart player. And that was a smart shot.
Yeah, can't contradict myself, right? You can't back down either. So he's feeling it. Why not keep the run going? Now 60 balls pocketed towards FSR's 11, and FSR started with a break and run. Little tricky here. He's got to really make the inside take or maybe a little outside. I don't know which route he's going. Said I'm going to take the trouble out of the equation.
Very healthy crowds here over the weekend. Kind of knew it would be like that, didn't we, as the weekend approaches. And they've still got one of their own in. Joshua Phillip played the first quarter-final before this one and knocked Koping Chung out. Played flawless as well.
Yeah, didn't want this much angle on the green 6, but main thing, just don't take your eye off the ball. Hitting the ball too clean. Just like any other sport, you may not see it, but that adrenaline gets going and you start to heat up and really start to play some of your best pool.
Well, it might look a little unfair, this, but it's been all about Koping Yi. But he's pulling off the big shots. He really is. It's now 8 racks to 1. Well, Copigny does not want to go red because red means you are out.
Rack 10, Copigny to break, leading by 8 racks to 1.
And you heard Julian, the referee, 8-1. So it's looking good. The light will stay white. We know at this level now, Jeremy, don't we? That one ball just seems like it's a combination off the pack.
Yeah, it's incredible. Of course, what I see is just no let up at all, not only on the break shot, but every other shot, and that's where you get that consistency. And of course, the confidence got to be really sky high.
Yeah, on day one, the evening session, a lot of the breaks, no one was getting a shot on the lowest ball. This is what pool is. You never quite know. You can only break the balls as good as you can, and you know, some days you have a shot on the lowest ball, other days you don't. This is the art of being a player.
Yeah, and the change to that break rule really put the kind of onus on trying to make the one, so everything else is racked randomly besides the 9. He's going to get a little fortunate there, not what he exactly wanted. Didn't tie up the 5, going on to a 6-ball combination, the purple 5. So still in a great position to continue to keep world number 1 FSR in the chair. Looking to maybe go forward to play the pink in the opposite middle. And what people don't realize, and maybe some amateur players do, because, ooh, I was just about to say and maybe jinxed him, but you know, when you're playing this great, even the great players, it puts a lot of pressure to keep it going, right? It can get a little mental, and you can hear a clap there. A couple different reasons. The appreciation of the play from Copigny, and again, to get a look at world number 1 FSR.
Yeah, even Francisco knows his back's against the wall here, but he's just got to try and enjoy the moment, Jeremy. I know it's easier said than done, and I feel like since I've retired, I have a completely different mindset now. I think it's because I've watched so many matches, but you know, he can't change what's happened in this match. He's just got to see if he can put a bit of heat on Co.
Yeah, and you know, just swing the cue with confidence. That's the only way you make these kind of comebacks. Now, he could have afforded a little bit of an angle on the pink 4 so he could get a little closer to this combination on the purple 5 onto the 6, but you know, just no, you know, there's a real reason you're number 1, because you can do some special things, and you've done it in the past. I think it was a comeback trying to not go 2 and out in the UK Open a few years ago that really got his run started to really start to do things on the World Nineball Tour.
7-0 down, I think he was as well.
Yeah, after losing his first match. Things got a little sideways. I believe it was his second, maybe third match when he was trailing some 7-0.
Well, that looks like I've played the combo there. That's what used to happen when I used to shoot them, Jeremy. Not easy. The distance didn't get right behind it.
And if you watch the body, he knew it immediately that he didn't like the path of the cue ball after it being struck. A little twitch of the body, and this, you know, getting past something we don't predict should get Copigny to the hill.
It's going to be perfect. Can't help but just think that 4 ball up the rail to make it 4-2 going into the break is what could have turned this match on its head for Ruiz. He's not had much table time, we know that. But it's very small margins.
Yeah, definitely along with one of the best breakers on tour, that being Francisco. So a 4-2 margin is nothing early in the match, especially when you're at the table to break in game number 7, but that's all in the past. And this guy here is looking towards the future.
This combination from Ruiz gives a gimme rack to Coping Lee. He's on the hill. It's 9-1. What's Ruiz thinking? He knows the writing is on the wall. It's not all doom and gloom, no. There's plenty more tournaments, Jeremy.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know how these guys are. You were one of those guys, a fighter, doesn't feel good at the moment. Maybe a little dazed, really, a little rum-dum. Maybe a little rope-a-dope, a little Muhammad Ali used to do to him back in the day.
Yeah, I believe after this tournament, Francisco will go up to Scotland for the Scottish Open at the Goldricks pool room, actually owned by the sister and brother-in-law Jason Shaw. It's a phenomenal pool hall. Jeremy Jones is playing, getting the cue back out.
Break, leading 9 racks to 1 on the hill.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week. I really can't wait. Of course, this Whirlpool Masters comes first. Our defending champion is showing us something special here on a Saturday afternoon. I was going to say maybe a golden break to finish. Looks like we're going to see some more of the Spaniard, though.
Yeah, Fran will be thinking, why now? Why is he now shotting the lowest ball now? It's too late, this. Great break, though, as the one ball disappears again. It's been a breaking masterclass.
Yeah, but even with a 9-1 lead, he's not going to take a shot off. He's not going to play anything loose. Still going to make Fran earn it. Try and push out as difficult as he can.
Francisco, it's your choice.
That's the push out he's played.
Well, if it's a thin edge on the 2, which Ko is really good at, so is Fran, I gotta believe he passes this. Gotta make Ko show you one here.
Play again, please, Ko.
Yeah, he's passed it back. So he's trying to clip off the edge, the right edge, send the cue ball, I believe 4 rails. Because if you look at the brown 7, the red 3, the green 6 and the 9 ball, that's a big line of balls.
Oh, he's trying to draw for this around. Wow. Well, if you could see that much of it, I'm a little surprised now that maybe Fran didn't take it with all those balls you were talking about.
Well, the execution, look at this one, to find the gap here and control the 2 ball to stay in the middle of the table. That was out the top draw.
Yeah, and the speed on the cue ball as well, coming all the way to the bottom cushion, getting within inches.
He fluked it. The crowd acknowledge the fluke. They want to see a fight back.
Yeah. Really held the cue ball nicely, trying to play a safety, possibly knocking it in. He's got a tough one on the 3, though. Nothing easy on the red 3.
Not an easy pot, and it's not easy when you've not potted many balls. It's amazing, Jeremy. Just what a match this could have been. How different it could have been if that 4-ball would have gone in to make it 4-2 with Ruiz breaking. It's just, it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as well as he breaks. And after banging in that big jump shot on the 2, right, to get the kind of adrenaline going, right? Get the eyes a little bit more opened. Okay, it's not about getting on the pink 4. It's about getting on the pink 4 to get on a difficult 5-ball. It's pinned on the left side rail near the side pocket.
I think he's going for the jump cue.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a little limited on what he could do. Didn't want to go a whole lot further past the 8, right? To get kind of straight on the pink to where he can't do much. So tried to shoot the gap on the 8 and 9. Wouldn't doubt he chins this, though, and gets all the way across.
Well, his cue is full of gold, and this match has been gold. Everything has been pinpoint.
When you're hitting the ball well, though, you just, you don't question much, right? You just kind of go with it, and that's kind of his style anyways. And when he settles in, that's why he just seems to get better and better as the tournaments go on.
Just 3 balls away from an absolute masterclass over the world #1. It's going to be good enough. Cue ball's off the rail. He'll play for the 9-ball in the left centre pocket, so just a little stun shot. As Ruiz looks on in the distance. His best ever finish is the quarterfinals, and he's going to stay that way. The defending champion, with an absolute demoralising match over the world #1, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Just look at that, 10 racks to 1. As Ko Ping Chung, the little brother, takes a couple of pictures, and he's going to be facing Joshua Filler in tomorrow's semi-final. What a match that will be. 2 of the big players. As always this week, Ko Ping will sign some of the memorabilia, the merch, the shirts. The fans have loved it. Such a big name in the world of 9-ball is Ko Ping. He's a fan favourite, just like his brother Ko Ping Chung. Boy, didn't he play well then. He broke unbelievable. He had the cue ball under control. He potted a ton of balls. Let's have a look at the match stats. There you see, balls potted 81-14. Ruiz won the opening rack. So most of them balls come in rack one. He's completely froze him out. Breaker run, 5 racks, so that's 50% of the racks he's won. 5 racks, long pot success, 100%. No fouls, no safety errors, and just the 2 missed pots